I'm now pleased to present your graduate speaker for the class of 2023, Nicholas Nutting. The Nicholas Fan Club. Hailing from Springfield, Missouri, Nicholas studied electronic arts and new media at the University of Missouri, where he took several drawing classes to fulfill some of his elective requirements. Nicholas discovered that drawing was more in line with his creative interest and professional goals, and what ultimately led him to apply and attend SVA's MFA Illustration as Visual Essay program. But pursuing this interest would take a few years to materialize. In 2018, Nicholas moved with his girlfriend Bailey to Los Angeles, where she would begin her career in the film and television industry. Meanwhile, Nicholas held a number of jobs. Then March 2020 rolled around, and as we all know, the world was turned upside down. Everything in LA, like here in New York, came to a grinding halt. It was in the midst of the pandemic that Nicholas decided to apply to SVA. He was at first waitlisted, but later that spring was contacted by the late Marshall Arisman and offered a place in the entering class of 2021. Nicholas's work takes the form of comics, animation, and stories that combine horror, comedy, and many of his characters are drawn from the people with whom Nicholas grew up in his rural Missouri community. Among Nicholas's greatest inspirations is his older brother, who served in the military and is now a firefighter in Texas, and his girlfriend Bailey. His current work, titled Power Crown, pays homage to the experiences of growing up with his brother, as well as his time in New York and the inspiration derived from his classmates and professors. Girlfriend Bailey and her family are Nicholas's biggest supporters of his craft, his work, and his journey, and Bailey's here with us today. Nicholas also counts his department chair, David Sandlin, as among his most significant professional champions. Nicholas is currently preparing a volume of his comics and several animated shorts for a number of upcoming conventions and festivals. Please join me in welcoming Nicholas Nutting.
Thank you, Dr. Cyphers, for that introduction. President David Rhodes, Executive Vice President Anthony Rhodes, members of the Board of Directors, distinguished guest speaker Lynsey Addario, department chairs, faculty, staff, parents, guests, members of the class of 2023. I'm honored to address you today. First of all, I would like to say a special congratulations to all my graduates in the class of 2023. Give yourself a round of applause. You don't have to write any more papers or listen to our professors give us critique anymore or find out what these things are. I'm so confused. We put our hands in them, I don't know. Okay. In all seriousness, we should be proud of what we've achieved. Getting a master's degree is not easy. I should know. We endured critiques that helped us grow, maybe slightly damaged our egos. We were so inspired by the different creators in this city and around the world, it made our future seem a little daunting. Most of all, we worked a lot. Even when we weren't working, we were still kind of working. And when we slept, we were still kind of working. This is why today is so important. It is the moment that all of that hard work gets to be praised and appreciated, and we earned that. Standing here now, it feels wrong to think of this as an individual achievement. I see this moment as an acknowledgement of the support, the generosity, and the love at the core of our work. It is all the moments that our parents, guardians, siblings, friends, and partners gave as they listened to us explain our hopes for the future and how we would like to be doing something a little bit different than most. When hearing these ideas, they did not approach them with cynicism, but optimism, thankfully. I know without my partner Bailey, I would not be here, and I'm sure there is a specific person or persons that you all think of whenever I say this. This is for all of you who have come to support us here today. I would like to pause for a moment and say on behalf of the class of 2023, thank you. If the rest of the world heard the kind of problems that we have while pursuing our line of work, whether it's research, conceptual, or technical, I do not think most would take us seriously. It's not for lack of trying either. We know that explaining our work can eventually sound like a different language entirely. Luckily, our translators, rather our professors, were there to soothe us and lead us down the path that best fits us. They were our sounding boards, our understanding of the path ahead, our quality check, and our motivators. If you had a particularly good one, when you sit down to work and start to think, they might pop in your head and give you some advice. As disturbing as this may sound, it can be a powerful tool and is often the watermark of greatness. On behalf of the class of 2023, I would like to say thank you to our incredible and inspiring faculty. Beyond this moment, we enter into what is known as the rest of our lives. Ooh. I know, it's daunting, and there will be struggles ahead. Or at least that's like what I've been told. I don't know. I mean, I'm graduating with you guys, so I know just as much as you do. It might just be super easy. Like, what if it's just like all of our dreams come true? Maybe there's like tests here and there, but like we're fine and everything's great. I don't know. Just in case there are alleged challenges on the road ahead, I will ask a question. How do we endure these, and how do we continue on at the onset of them? In my department, our class has become the last under the guidance of Marshall Arisman, who abruptly passed away in May of last year. Before applying to the program, I was unaware of Marshall's work, but from the beginning of my first class, I knew that this man was a legend. He was one of those professors you looked up to so much that whenever you liked something you had done, there was no way you're going to have a bad day after that. During critique, he was famous for giving his read on your work, telling you what he thought about it, and then following it up with, "Does that make sense?" He would be telling stories that I'm sure he had told many times and would still pause for a, "Does that make sense?" I love that about him. To me, what it says is, are you understanding? If not, let me know. This coming from a man who, by all accounts, has figured it out, has had an incredible career, and is still looking for any opportunity to improve or make a connection he may have missed. At the core of that is what I feel answers the question of how do we endure the struggles ahead and continue at the onset of them. When faced with an obstacle, we must remember why we do it all. Take a moment and ask, does this make sense? Is this what I want? We became masters not to stay the same, but to move, challenge, and grow forward. If the task ahead feels like a diversion, then ask if it is. But if it isn't, and it's just a call for you to meet its dare, then that is the time to strike. And after all that, if you still seem hesitant and you have no idea what to do or why you're doing what you're doing, ask a friend. Through thick and thin, we made it here together. We powered through the late nights, the writer's blocks, the carpal tunnel, and of course, the despair. There's not a single person on this planet that will relate to you more and what you are going through than the ones who sit next to you right now. So if you're not sure what to do, ask them. I found they are some of the most kind-hearted, honest, and amazingly talented people I have ever met. In our celebrating today, let us also honor one another and the life and time we have shared over these past few years. Without each other, I do not think today would be as special as it is. It is in our best interest to trust ourselves and to follow the future that inspires and keeps us running. At the very least, I think a master's degree means we kind of know what we're doing. The world needs those who are not afraid to be sincere, to learn new things, and want to give a voice to stories that elevate or reflect our culture. Our families, friends, supporters, and classmates all trust us enough to say go for it, so we owe it to ourselves to do just that. As graduate students, we'll become stewards of and for the next generation of creators. Within this vocation is an incredible responsibility, but also a reverent opportunity. Our mission for truth and communication may guide artists on a path where they may find confidence and purpose. We do not take on this task lightly, but instead are compelled by its severity. For what future do we have if we do not have those who are willing to investigate, pioneer, or teach the merit and stories of our world? We must go forward and meet this opportunity bravely and with conviction. So let us inspire and make amazing things and use what we've learned in meaningful, thoughtful ways. Let's trust that we know what we're doing, and if we're not sure, it's always okay to ask, does this make sense? It has been an honor to receive this opportunity to speak on behalf of the master's programs. I extend my deepest gratitude to the graduating class of 2023. Congratulations, everyone.